it's really nice to have that in the culture and the Filipino Americans that are having pop-ups or restaurants that are um, changing the cuisine and gearing it towards not just Filipino Americans and Filipinos, but to a bigger audience now. So
Yeah.
it's you're part of that, whatever the 1% they want to say of Filipinos that are doing that. So it's really cool, and I'm also doing it too.
Yeah.
But
No,
this is
no,
the
we are doing it,
this,
Brendan.
this is the Regi show though, right now. I'm just the host. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Line Check podcast. Today I'm in the studio with Regi, my best friend.
Best friendo.
Of Regi's Turo Turo, which is a Filipino pop-up that specializes in Turo Turo, which means points and choose in Tagalog. And you'll find them like at different kinds of markets where it's just like a giant spread of food on hot tables, and you just point and choose which ones you want. And that's what Regi's pop-up's about. And also, we've worked together for like six years,
almost 6 years on and off.
Yeah.
With the pandemic in between.
Yeah. Worked together at Lasita where we first met and the love blossomed. And then we worked at Lasita together. So welcome, Regi, to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. How's your day today? How was it?
My day today so far so good. Just went to class. I'm also still a student.
Why don't you tell the audience what you're studying right now?
So currently, I'm a student for food science. So not only do I cook, but I try to understand food to the chemical level, to the molecular level, and the reason for that is mostly just to understand how can I make food taste scientifically good. How can we just make it the best way possible? But at the same time, my upbringing is, just like you, Filipino American. So it's this is going to be the basis of what we're going to eat all the time,
So leaving rice out overnight is okay.
No.
That's a Filipino thing.
You can. I mean, I've told my family, you take the risk, food safety is one of the most important things for me. Last year I got sent to the ER. You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know what I ate, but I went to the ER and I was just okay, I'm not feeling too good. I was there overnight, and then eventually they just put me on a high dosage of antibiotics.
That's okay. I do it all the time.
But that was a eye-awakening experience for me to realize I am in the right place to be for what I'm studying. Not just good food, but safe food. Good food is also safe, healthy, and just all around just it's gonna be good, not just for you palate taste wise, but for your overall well-being. So
yeah. It's funny because in the kitchen, when I used to work at Lasita and Lhasa, well, mostly Lasita because you weren't doing that yet. But whenever we have a question that we are very unsure of regarding food science, Regi's the man. We will call Regi if he's not there. It's ask Regi. Why don't you just ask Regi? Regi'll know. And he does know about 99% of the time.
Yeah. It's really funny because, our other boy Jason there, he told me the other day, he's just like the other day I was gonna ask you a question about food science, just for general curiosity, but now that you're here actually working, during your shift this week, I totally forgot. And I was you know what, I know you probably forgot the question, and I really want to know what it is, but I appreciate the fact that you think about me when you want to know something scientifically related to food. So that just makes me happy. So
yeah. I'm gonna do a pop quiz right now to test you.
All right.
That you probably don't even know.
Okay.
Honestly,
we're gonna find out.
All right. Okay. So what is the temperature for holding hot food?
So the temperature for holding hot food, you want it to be at least 145 degrees. Oh, 135, sorry. 135 degrees. And then, you know, you want to bring it up to 165 about every hour or two to make sure that, you know, it, you know, nothing, no like pathogens are able to grow. So, but, you know, during that time of service, you know, 135, 145 is like the hot holding range you want.
Okay. Question number 2. How long can you hold food out to get it to before you put it in the walk-in?
So
How long can food stay out for
well, it depends.
after it's cooked? Yeah.
Okay, so you know, this is where like there's variables. So it's like depending on how hot food comes out of like, you know, the vessel you're cooking in, say it's an oven, say it's out of a pan, out of a pot of boiling water, you want to bring it down to like, you know, out of the temperature danger zone to 41 degrees. I don't know that part.
But so, anyways, 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
4 hours is the time you have.
So 4 hours max, 2 hours to be safe, you know, so that time range. I mean, like, I don't want to get too into it. Like, it could be even 6 hours because, you know, there's still, like, once it comes out of the oven, it's still definitely above 165. But you want to bring it down to 165. And in that 165 to 41, you want to drop it faster. So, like, you can, like, you know, throw it like straight in the fridge, lid open, and then, you know, that's that 2 hour mark. But, you know, general rule of thumb, just say 2 hours for safe measures. 4 hours maximum. Don't exceed that.
Okay. And why should you never put food that just come out of the oven or food that's just cooked straight into the fridge covered? Why?
Because it won't cool as fast, and at the same time, you're likely to bring the temperature up of the entire fridge, like so it's just don't do it. Just don't.
And then also can't like pathogens grow because like it just steams up and shit.
Yeah, it'll definitely steam up.
Start creating some mold. And
yeah,
get all those nice fuzzies going on.
Because it'll stay like definitely in that temperature danger zone a lot longer with the lid on in the fridge. Yeah. So that's why you don't want to do that.
Yes. I'm mostly directing these these questions towards just home cooks. Oh. These are important things. I already know that chefs should know this shit. I know this stuff. It's just this is all just the basic safety knowledge that you need for not just for kitchen and restaurant operations, but for yourself as a person that's just eating at home. Don't throw your cooked food into the fridge with the lid on.
Yeah, right away.
Let it breathe for an hour, and then you throw it in the fridge.
Yeah, so, you know, let it, definitely don't exceed 2 to 4 hours, but let it breathe, and then once it's like room temperature, throw it in. But don't exceed 2 to 4 hours.
So that was fun. It's a little pop quiz. We don't really do that on this show that much, so it's fun to talk about those safety food regulations that are very important.
I think it's very, very important. I mean, like, you know, the other day I just learned about 80% of your immune system is in your digestive tract. So that meaning, you know, if you're putting yourself, you know, at jeopardy for getting sick from food, that's going to compromise a lot of your immune system already. So definitely food safety is very important.
Yeah, it's very important. I would hate if I got anybody sick from food I've made. That's like one of my worst fears, and also like hurting someone with allergies. Another fear of mine. If I killed somebody due to an allergy, I'd probably quit cooking. Honestly, I'd shame myself forever.
Yeah.
I'll kick myself off the country.
No, I know.
Out of the country.
Yeah, definitely for anyone who's like getting into cooking or just starting to learn how to cook, I think that's one of the most important things you have to know before you get into cooking. Like, you can learn all this cool cooking techniques and how to make these cool fancy dishes, but in the end, you know, you got to make sure you're still okay to eat more food just like that for the next day, you know, because there are days where, like, you know, you and I have taken that risk where, you know, something looks really good, but we don't know like what exactly has happened to it before it got to the plate in front of our face. and we took that risk anyways. And then next thing you know, just hanging out in the bathroom, on our phones a little too long, just.
Yeah. When I was in the Philippines, I had chicken kilawin, or was it kinilaw? So kilawin is, for people that don't know, is cooked and then marinated in vinegar. Like it's reverse of like how you make ceviche. And then ceviche, kinilaw, is the Filipino version where you cook it in vinegar and it's from raw. So I had the chicken version of that, which is raw, cooked in vinegar.
Okay. Well, before you continue, I just want to know, did it taste good?
Did not taste good.
Oh.
It was the only thing that tasted good was the spiciness that was numbing everything from it tasting bad. The sabaw was amazing. Sabaw is
Like
the
soup.
soupy
Yeah, the
part
soup.
of a Filipino dish we call sabaw. And the sabaw was fire. The chicken was not.
The chicken was not fire.
Not good. And it was also a cock. So it was the rooster.
Yeah.
And you don't eat those ones.
No.
And it was a fallen soldier in a cockfight.
Oh no.
So yeah, I just don't do that. If someone gives you chicken ceviche, don't eat it, guys. Save your life. Nothing happened to me, surprisingly, but it's just, yeah, I don't do that raw chicken stuff anymore.
One day I'm gonna try raw chicken, just
Chicken sashimi.
chicken sashimi.
Yeah, they have in San Francisco, right?
They do?
The
I
restaurant,
think
there's like a Japanese restaurant that serves chicken sashimi.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is one there in SF, but like, as far as I'm concerned, like the safety of like, Japanese food safety and standards, are a little more like, just a little more like detailed in terms of like safety and like, and that doesn't just start from like, from when they get the raw chicken, but from like where they're raised and like the area, the facilities they raise these chickens in. The standard is just a little above the bar. I mean, like, we wouldn't even be having like Wagyu right now if their standard of like raising beef was like so high.
Any cuisine that Japanese choose to do, it becomes the best cuisine. Like that pizza place that's in Japan, and I heard they make pizza better than
I think
Italians.
There's I saw it on. There's like a show on Netflix that might have it. It's like.
Yeah.
Not, is it Chef's Table? Like something with pizza.
The pizza chef.
Yeah, and they featured a Japanese.
Yeah. And
restaurant.
I believe there's a Japanese owned pizzeria in like Santa Ana or somewhere in Orange County, but I heard really, really good things about that too. But yeah, they just love to perfect things.
Yeah.
And they're really good. They're really good at it. Yeah. So let's talk about Filipino food.
All right.
How does it feel to represent Filipino culture as being Filipino American here in California by the food that you cook and just like growing up here,
Well, I'm honestly very proud to say that I'm happy to represent Filipino cuisine. Being a second generation, you and I both second generation Filipino American. Like my mother was born in Hawaii. And, my only access of knowledge of Filipino food was through my like grandmothers. So both my maternal, paternal, grandmothers, they're both excellent Filipino cooks, and, like just like a lot of continents, countries in the world, there's like different like, provinces that kind of like diversify the cuisine, and so like to be more specific, I'm ethnically Kapampangan, Ilocano, and Tagalog. So that's like, the three of the most prominent provinces in the northern side of the Philippines. So my understanding of Filipino food through my grandmothers, my dad's grandma, she makes really good Filipino food. Like this is what I grew up with for like the first, 18 years of my life. And then when I started taking care of my grandfather in Hawaii on my mom's side, I really got to know my maternal grandmother more and see more of her cooking. And she's Kapampangan, so it's like, okay, I hear like there's a lot of great chefs in like Pampanga, and my grandma, my Kapampangan grandmother, she's not the best cook, but you know what? She had to learn. And what I've learned from her is that she's very thoughtful and conscious of like, others, my other family members, like dietary restrictions, like health. And my grandmother, 95 years old, she's still walking around gardening, um and she loves helping me out when I'm cooking in the kitchen, like when I'm R&Ding, and she's always curious as to what I'm doing. And I tell her like grandma, this is like kapampangan cooking, like this is like where the style of cuisine where you're from, and this is what I'm trying to learn too. But at the same time, it's like I still keep in mind my like paternal grandmother, her Tagalog side, where it's like, she like their Filipino cuisine sometimes gets a bad rep, just from Filipinos themselves, that like, oh, Filipino food is unhealthy, and we shouldn't be eating this all the time. And that grandmother, like, she kind of represents that. But like, man, the food is so good. Like, if I had to choose like which one is my favorite, it'd be like that my paternal grandmother's cooking. It's so good, but I could not eat that all the time. But it's so good. So that's where it kind of like led into me, like trying to understand food science, nutrition, and health too. Like where it all plays into like food and cooking Filipino foods. That yeah, like we can make Filipino food still delicious. Maybe just change the portion sizings a little bit. um
Only 1 cup of rice.
Yeah, just 1 cup of rice. Oh man.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. It's like we're in a generation now where people pay attention to what the ingredients are and what they're eating and how nutritious it is for you, and to elevate Filipino food in a way that's geared towards people that want to stay healthy and fit but still eat something delicious, and that's not gonna like clog up their arteries,
Right.
Which and not as salty. It's really cool to see that, especially because you have a lot of vegan options as well, and Filipino food is not known for having any vegan anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has like bagong.
Unless you say vegan.
Yeah.
Which is where
It's
my
a region.
where my grandfather's from.
Yeah.
Vegan.
So it's really nice to have that in the culture, and the Filipino Americans that are having pop-ups or restaurants that are changing the cuisine and gearing it towards not just Filipino Americans and Filipinos, but to a bigger audience now. So
Yeah.
it's you're part of that, whatever the 1% they want to say of Filipinos that are doing that. So it's really cool, and I'm also doing it too.
Yeah.
No,
We are doing it, Brendan.
This is the Regi show though, right now. I'm just the host. Yeah. So, and you had that smoked cauliflower.
Oh man,
that was really good. That was your first time using the smoker for that? Or you done that before?
So during the pandemic, there were like 3 hobbies I picked up. Some people started baking sourdough. Some people, I don't know, just whatever, like a new hobby. You had that time. For me, it was 3 things: photography, doing pour overs, and smoking meats. So like clearly, like I didn't really take up photography, but I definitely picked up pour overs as like my morning ritual, and then smoking meats when I can. And then working at Lhasa with you at Lasita kind of opened my eyes. Like, you don't just have to smoke meats, just the concept of smoking foods, giving it that, carbony, like flavor of whatever element of the tree that you chose, like for wood, was like, is great. And it was mostly, I smoke with like, cherry wood and white oak. And that was because we worked brunch, at Lhasa. So we use a lot of like cherry wood chips, and that came out to be my like favorite flavor of like wood. But definitely, so that smoked cauliflower kare kare, I was like, yeah, let's not just smoke meats. I'm gonna smoke some veggies, and kare kare is like my favorite dish.
Can you
And
explain to the audience what kare kare is?
okay, so kare kare, translated, it just means curry curry, and the Filipino style of curry is like a peanut stew, with whatever protein of your choice, some vegetables, gulay, and you serve it over a bed of rice with some salted sautéed shrimp paste, which is like like the umami element, the savory element to like kare kare, and that's definitely gonna spike up your blood pressure, but it's so good.
Yeah.
So the vegan kare kare dish I made, I essentially just marinated some cauliflower florets, smoked it for like an hour, and then just put it in a kare kare dish without all the animal elements, and yeah, and I even dabbled with making like a uh, a vegan bagoong, and that came out really well. But when I first served the kare kare dish, smoked cauliflower, I didn't make enough of it, so I was like, it's just putting the tiniest smidge in everyone, and I want to see who notices. It's like it's there, but it's definitely really good.
What was inside your vegan bagon? Or is
So
that a secret?
it's not a secret. I could honestly just tell you like my inspiration behind it. Um, so pretty much, there's a Japanese condiment called takana, and that's basically like a sautéed mustard green, and there's one of my favorite ramen shops serves it on the side as like a spicy condiment, and I'm like, this kind of looks like bagoong, so I want to just try and make a bagoong that looks like just like a takana, just like that, kind of more like bagoong. And yeah, I mean, it's mostly just takana, but like more savory elements to it than a takana would. And takana is usually spicy, but I just didn't make it spicy. I made it savory. So yeah, I kind of dabbled in like the Japanese like influence into my cooking too. So
Yeah, you are very well versed in Japanese cuisine.
I am.
Also, if you have any questions about Japanese cuisine, Regi knows. He makes a really good okonomiyaki. He would make that for staff meals sometimes, and it is delicious. I love okonomiyakis.
Oh, me too.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah,
Some people don't know what okonomiyaki is.
It's also
Explain
just like it's just a very versatile savory pancake consisting of like cabbage as your filler, a batter, and then like whatever you want to throw in it. Usually it'll have like like the red ginger you get like yoshinoya, it'll have that in it, bacon, and literally like okonomiyaki it's just grilled anything. You just throw it in the batter, make a pancake with it. When we were doing it for staff meal, we just threw in like our achara, like whatever pickles. We had chicken, pork belly.
Yeah.
We had the lechon. We just throw it in there, and that's like my favorite part about cooking is like the versatility, the modularity of like trying to save money and not waste food, and incorporating dishes together to like make something like delicious without wasting food. So
Yeah, it's bomb. And you put some like bonita flakes on it.
And then the Kewpie mayo.
Yeah, Kewpie mayo.
And then I would just like
unagi sauce or something like that.
quick fire my own teriyaki sauce. Yeah, it's always fun.
Smoke show.
Yeah.
Yeah, delicious. There was a restaurant. I don't know how long ago this was, but it was in New York, and they opened up a okonomiyaki like restaurant, and it was like all different. Like they had different versions. Like, oh, this is this one and this one. I don't know. I don't even know if it's still around, but
Yeah.
it looked good. But
Yeah. I gotta look into
yeah,
this
it sounds
in case I go to New York
maybe.
again.
I don't know. So let's talk about some of your favorite restaurants to eat at.
I mean, honestly, number one, Lasita. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang, I was gonna say I would say Jollibee.
Jollibee. Oh, okay. Well, it's Jollibee number two. No.
Okay.
I mean, as long as I, have been like exploring like LA's like food culture, like food scene, I've been pretty consistent with like, you know, for me, like my all-time favorite, I do go here every year for my birthday, just out of tradition with my friends and family. I'll go to it's called Worstkuka, the one in Arts District, the gastropub with the sausages and the
Oh,
beer,
yeah,
or some
yeah.
people will say
Yeah.
Worstkuch.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's
I
pronounced.
went
but
there a long time ago on New Year's Day.
Yeah. Yeah, that place, the Arts District location is pretty cool.
It's fun. And
Yeah.
they have like a DJ. It's like a giant, like food hall with like benches everywhere, and you kind of just like counter service and then hang out, have a pint of German beer and some sausage. I don't know if that came out in German, but yeah. But yeah, it's I love places like that. It's counter service. See yourself.
Yeah, see yourself.
Just have fun time.
It's pretty quick, They just bring it out to you. Just grab a beer, hang out, and just like at a like Macaroni Grill, where they put the paper on your table and kids can draw with crayons. But now you can do that as an adult, while you're drinking a beer at Worstkuka.
Play some tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why it's like, you can entertain yourself, entertain your friends, have a nice, mug of, like a nice beer and some really good Belgian fries and a sausage. So, simple, fun. It's a really cool concept, and it's been there for a while. So it's like,
it's an OG spot.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then most favorite, my actual second most favorite, is probably a ramen shop, and it's Tsujita. So I'm gonna say it right. And this is not just any Tsujita. They have the one in Santa Monica on Sawtelle, the artisan noodle, and I think they have probably one of the best tonkotsu ramens. But on top of that, they have their dipping style noodles. So if you want like an even thicker savory broth to like kind of dip your noodles and soak it up and just slurp that, that's a really good place to get ramen. So yeah, and then just kind of making a 1, 2, 3 list. I think my third favorite restaurant to go to, that's not including Lasita or Jollibee. I would have to say it's Tokyo Fried Chicken, just because I also work there too.
Damn.
But
my guesses that I had for you on this list, I did not get any of them right. I'm failing, guys.
Yeah, my days off. I don't tell people where I go to eat.
Exactly. It seems that way.
Because I like to eat by myself sometimes. So, yeah.
Also, eating by yourself is wonderful. I love eating by myself.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I just love going to a place and just like ordering whatever and just like people watching and enjoying the meal. It's like, I know a lot of people don't like to do stuff by themselves, but I enjoy doing that. I love hanging out with Sasha.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna say that. I just don't. Just in case you're listening to this, don't get mad at me.
Yeah, no, I love eating at places. Like sometimes it's not by myself. Sometimes it's with Sam, my fiance. But in terms of like doing things by yourselves, I definitely don't watch movies by myself. Like I've never. Well, I do that. No, I don't go to movie theaters by myself.
I do that.
I've never done that, and I think it's kind of weird.
Damn.
Sorry, Brandon. I'm just gonna throw you under the bus right there.
When I go to a movie and it's like during the day, and it's usually a movie that Sasha doesn't want to watch, and literally like the people that will be there will be like all guys my age, all spread out by themselves. Just watching a movie. It's like some corny action movie.
I mean, I'm still open to trying watching a movie by myself. I just haven't done it yet.
I've been doing that now since I don't work at Lasita. That's kind of like my
your
thing
alone
is go
time.
to the movies by myself.
Hey, I mean, if it's your preferred choice of alone time, then I respect it. But for me, like, because I haven't experienced it yet, I still think that like idea is like kind of weird. Because especially with like streaming media right now, I'm not too big on like movie aspect ratios and stuff like that.
Yeah,
audio quality. I just watch it at home.
Yeah,
I'll just stream it.
I gotta go to the movies. So you recently got a write-up in the New York Times. I mean, not recently. It's been like 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, a couple months.
And how was that? What was that about?
Well, so I feel more like I was just mentioned
Yeah.
in that write up, but like it was essentially for this community market called Field Market that I started popping up with. You're gonna be there too, right?
It's pending.
Pending?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
sure for sure. I
Okay.
might have another event that day. So it's like if
Okay.
we don't have one, hopefully we don't. I got my fingers crossed that we can do one.
Come on, you don't
Then
want
we
to
could
pop up with us at Field?
next to you. Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so
But
cool.
yeah,
Just
tell us about Field Market. It's a fairly new up and coming market in LA.
yeah. So Field Market is um, like just like a community event where different creatives, not just like food vendors, but like merch, creators, artists. We come to like gather and like celebrate and like just hang out and like sell like our merch and just be able to like you know just experience like the other like aspects of like Filipino like merchandise, so um like my favorite merch, that's not food is like Bahala Na. They make some pretty cool merch that
Yeah.
represent like Filipino culture.
And they have vintage Filipino tees.
Yeah.
I bought one a while ago. It's so cool. I wore it on one of the episodes.
Yeah, and then our good friend Kim and Arvin,
Mm-hmm.
Sand and Wolves, they do their vegan Filipino pastries. You know, despite it being like vegan, it's also just really good. Like
It's
you
very
wouldn't even
good.
think about the fact that it's
Mhm.
vegan, but if you're on that side of like like trying to like conserve like your health or eating more vegan for just dietary reasons, but you also want some really good Filipino pastries. Sand and Wolves is like that's the place to go to get some really good pastries.
The babinka cornbread.
Or the
Fire.
ube macapuno pop tart.
Yeah, that's also very
So
good.
good.
Yeah. But yeah, Field Market, yeah. It's definitely something you guys should check out. Regi will be there. I'm not sure how often they do it. But yeah, it's a community full of Filipino AAPI vendors that are doing new and different things in the community, and just coming to one place and supporting Filipino culture. It's very nice.
Yeah, I think that was the second pop up I ever did.
Uh-huh.
So the first one was at my homie's coffee shop, 7 Syllables Coffee.
Shout out Seven
Shout out.
Syllables, Roscoe.
And Tim. Um, yeah, that was my first pop up, and it was my friend Tim who kind of encouraged me to like, oh hey, you've been saying you want to do a pop up, just pop up here, and I was like, all right, and that's how I just started doing pop ups, and it's just started at their coffee shop, and then anytime like a special event came up, they needed like like a food vendor to like sling some food and go get some coffee, you know yeah, such a vibe just like popping up and hanging out with like seeing new faces and like friends just come by to support, and just every time I popped up it was like, all right, let's R&D something that's fun, creative, familiar, and Filipino obviously, but yeah. And then Field Market was the second like event that I was able to like pop up at, and that was, I got lucky with that because my sister-in-law, one of her good friends is like also good friends with one of the coordinators for Field Market, so eventually full circle, you know one of the coordinators reached out to me, and then yeah, it just went on from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's cool to see just like friends helping friends out. It's always the one of the taglines for most of these podcasts and guests is there's always like someone they knew from the past or a connection that eventually helped lead them to where they are now. So that's always cool. And yeah, everyone should go check out Seven Syllables. They just had their grand opening. Regi was there last weekend. But Roscoe is also a longtime employee of Rose Park Roasters, where I met him like 6 years ago
Yeah.
too. and then he went on to open his own coffee shop in Cerritos, and he makes a freaking mean latte. It is delicious. Like I had also their Calamansi espresso tonic.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That one was good.
Yeah.
And then the ube latte. And I am personally not a big ube person, but he definitely nailed it. It's very delicious.
Yeah, that second day of their grand opening weekend where I was popping up, like it was actually really sunny. The weather was nice, but I was not under the easy up tent where we pop up under because I was cooking, and I was kind of just burning up a little, making some pancits, and I was like, all right, I need something to drink that's not just water. And so I asked like Tim, like, hey, can I get an iced ube latte? And it's down that thing so quick.
I thought you say pour it on your face. So we're going to get to our last segment right now. And I'm sure you know what it is, Reggie.
What is it? I don't know.
You're going to tell me your best and favorite in the weed story.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, man. Okay, so my best and worst moment of being in the weeds, but also my favorite, obviously, because I'm telling you this, is when I first worked the saute station at Lhasa, and man, after that service that night, I went home and I was like utterly destroyed. I was like feeling in the dumps, like how could I have done better? But essentially, what happened was first time working saute, just in like not in any kitchen, but like in a kitchen I really wanted to be in, and this was Lhasa back then. Things were a little more fine dining elevated, and what happened prior to working the station was I had sliced my thumb on a mandolin, R&Ding some ube chips, and I am never going to dabble with an ube chip because I'm so traumatized by that whole day. And yeah, so it was like the day before where I walked to the clinic by my house and they like patched me up with like a huge gauze. And then, I get to the kitchen and, I just had like the finger caught, on my finger with some like a nice amount of like gauze on it, like inside the cot, and like
finger condom.
Yeah, finger condom. But we don't have tickets we read, back then, so everything was like verbal fire, and you just hear it and you just do it. But also like I'm not familiar with all the dishes or just how to make them on the as they come. So it's like, okay, well, it's like, yeah, like you were fired with like skewers, or fired with pancit, What else did we do back then?
Clams?
Was it clams? I don't think it was clams that day.
I don't know if I was there yet.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I know it was a little bit more difficult. Oh, I think.
The sinigang? Or is that
no,
on?
No, I think it was
on plancha?
That was on plancha with the octopus. And it was
Caldereta?
the bulalo. Remember the bone marrow?
I was not there yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So
I was there. It was
right before me.
Yeah, I was there that day, and it's like it was just a lot tougher to cook on the line back then.
Yeah, it was harder.
Yeah, and I mean I was still kind of a green cook.
Way more finesse back then. Yeah,
and I was just getting like shouted at by like Nico, and then Chad was like, "What are you doing?" And then Nico would look at me like, "Look at me, just breathe." And I was like, "Okay, all right, let's do this. Let's get through this." And it's like,
I never freeze.
Yeah, it's like just breathe. I was like, all right. Yeah, like I was still a green cook, but that was like, not just in the weeds, but thrown in the fire. And I was definitely in the weeds the whole service. And yeah, that was a eye-opening experience for like line cooking in like a fast-paced, restaurant that's fine dining. So
awesome. Yeah. I think everybody's at least has an in the weeds story where it's their first time on saute. I know for sure. One of my in the weeds is getting thrown on saute for the first time, and yeah, it sucked. Yeah, because like I worked pantry like most of the time when I was younger.
Yeah,
and then it's like all of a sudden like chefs, hey Brennan, you're on saute today. was like, wait, what?
What does that
Fuck,
mean?
I've never touched a pan before. It's like you got it. It's like the other guy called out, so you're up. I was like, fuck. I'm so nervous. I'm shaking. And then like my sous chef was like, he's like, just be confident, Brennan. Like you got it. And then I did saute, and I was like just being confident, like pretending like I know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was doing good. I was like kind of nailing down. I was like, Brennan, your sear on your fish is like okay, but it could be better. I was like, okay, I'll do the next one better. I was like getting it. It was really busy. And then, you know, I was trying to keep up, just moving fast, and I was doing pretty good. And then I go in my low boy, sear another fish. Okay, another fish. Okay, call out. On back. Okay, get another fish, get it ready, salt it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, starting to see the fish start to disappear in my low boy. And, you know, slowly. And then I'm just starting to keep busy. And in the back of my head, I know, I'm like, yeah, you know, there's about to be no fish in my low boy pretty soon, and I'm still getting calls
Oh no.
for fish. And I was like, fuck, I'm like nervous though. And then I just never said that I was running out of fish. And then until I finally get another call for fish. Chef, I'm out of fish. What? And then the fishmonger had to go prep some real quick. And then it got back to me, and then I, you know, catch up again because I put myself in the weeds more. And then chef at the end of service comes like literally like an inch away from my face. It was ripping me apart ripping me apart in a whisper way where, you know, don't ever fucking do that again or, you know, your ass will be out of here. So that was a learning lesson for myself too.
Yeah.
Always keep track of my pars and to communicate.
Yeah, communicate.
Literally,
Communication
is
any
key.
kitchen,
like
even at home.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
You know, no one's trying to like. No one wants to see the whole kitchen go down because you didn't communicate about how you're out of something last minute, because you can just say that, hey, I got 5 left. Okay, we're 86. Okay, 5 left. Okay, we'll go prep some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, to wait till last minute to say that you're out is definitely a no-no. So for all young cooks, don't do that shit. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're gonna get ripped apart.
Yeah.
And I know you don't want to get ripped apart.
Let your coworkers, your peers know, your chef, when you're running low, not when you're out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I got that lecture from Chad.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard it many times from all different people. They're like, "Hey, I'm out." What? So that's all the time we have for today. It was really good to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, it was really fun being here with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see him as much as I used to, you know, now that I don't work at Lasita. But
I feel honored to be here, you know, seeing Brennan grow, you know, from our kitchen to like having a podcast, you know, and it's like, you know, it makes me happy seeing like, you know, my friends grow and like.
Likewise. So that's it. And that's your line check for today. Make sure you follow Regi's Turo Turo on Instagram. Go check out one of his pop-ups, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.